We need to have a lot more certainty in our ability. Do people know you're effective? Do people know you're skilled? And do people know you know how to get a result and that you can help them do the exact same thing? If not, it's affecting your business. Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Matthew Welsh, and welcome to the Leaders Only podcast, where we talk about business, leadership, mindset, and it's pretty much anything revolved around building an incredible life. You know, the reason that I started this podcast is because I felt like on the way to where we're at now, there wasn't really a place to go learn tangible skill sets, leadership qualities, and mindset strategies that you can learn today, apply today, and get immediate results. And so the goal of this podcast is to teach you the things that you need to actually win, to actually change your life, and to actually grow your business and grow your team if you're someone that's in a leadership role. And so if you can do me a favor, if you ever get something out of our message, if you ever get something out of the content, if you can like, share, subscribe, just tell people about it. We put out all this information for free. And so all we ask is that you share it with a friend if you get something out of it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much, and let's tune in.
Let's go. I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things that I didn't.
Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most important subjects that we can possibly talk about when it comes to creating an effective business and becoming an effective leader. And that is the ability to create certainty in your business, and the ability to create certainty in you, and the ability to be certain and drive certainty. Let me say it again. I don't know if you caught the word yet. Certainty, certainty, certainty. Do you drive certainty into your business, and are people certain that if they follow you, you can help them go from where you are or where they are to where they want to be? And so why is this so important? Let me ask you a question. Would you marry someone if you were uncertain about whether or not they would be faithful? Would you add someone as your business partner and split a business and or start a business together if you were uncertain about whether or not they would steal from you or take advantage of you? Of course not, right? You only do those type of things. You only have strong commitments with people that you are certain about. Well, if you want your people to be in business with you long term, and if you want your people to trust you fully, undeniably, then there's got to be a high level of certainty in the way that you operate, in the way that you perform, in your schedule, in your emotions, and everything. And we're going to talk about all of that today. There's got to be a high level of certainty. So let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, 1 being horrible, right? How certain are your people in you? How certain are your people in you? And so I'm going to go over 5 areas today that we have to have undeniable certainty in if we want to grow, and if we want to scale, and if we want people to put all their faith and trust in you as a business and or you as a person. There are 5 things that I'm going to cover that we have to have. So number 1, they got to have certainty in your schedule. Do people know where to find you? Do people know what your hours look like? You know, when I was coming up in business, I had an office, and that office, now we do a lot of things virtually, but I had an office, and that office, people knew no matter what, I was going to be in the office at 8 a.m. and I wasn't leaving the office earlier than 9 p.m. So they knew 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week, they knew exactly where to find me. So it was never a question of, is Matt at the office? Is Matt here? That was never a question. They knew where to find me. They knew where I was. And with all the uncertainty that there already is in the world, guys, there's already enough uncertainty in the economy. There's already enough uncertainty in people's homes. There's already enough uncertainty going on in the presidential election. There's already enough uncertainty out there for you not to show high levels of certainty in the way that you operate. And so the first part of that is just having a legitimate schedule. Let me ask you this, okay? If I opened up a Subway and the hours of that Subway being open changed every single day, would you go to that Subway to get sandwiches? No, of course not. Because you would never know if they're going to be open and or closed. And if people don't know if you're going to be open or closed, they're not going to keep coming back because there's a level of doubt on whether or not you will perform. And so as a leader, you can't have that. Your business has to have certain hours that no matter what, people can rely on. You have to have certain hours where people know no matter what, they can rely on you. They can rely on their ability to get a hold of you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you get a hold of them right away. You know, with my schedule, there's no way I can get back to people right away. But they know no matter what, I will get back to them. It might not be within the next hour, but they know for a fact I will eventually get back to them because they know that this is all I do. This is my sport. This is my baby. I love this thing. And I give them certainty that there's not a single place on the planet that I would rather be besides with my family than scaling my business and being in business with them. There's a high level of certainty there. The second thing of certainty that we need to have, the second area of certainty, I should say, is certainty in your emotions. Do people know what they're going to get when dealing and interacting with you? Or is it always changing? Where you're sad one day, you're angry the next, you're happy the next? Are people uncertain with the way that you're going to respond to situations? If a negative situation pops up, sometimes you handle it well, sometimes you don't, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Now all of a sudden people don't know, so they don't bring you problems anymore that they need help with. They don't bring you situations anymore. They avoid those situations versus seeking out those situations because they don't know how you're going to handle it. We have to be consistent. We got to have emotional control. It's called emotional intelligence. You know, I remember leading a woman in our business, and we would be on Zoom calls, and you could tell if she liked something and she didn't just by her facial expressions, okay? And I had to have a conversation with her because she told me, she said, Matt, I feel like I don't know what's wrong with my business. I say, listen, I'm not saying this is the only thing that's wrong with your business, but what I do know is that people can tell when you're angry, people can tell when you're sad, people can tell when you're frustrated because you wear it. You wear it all over your face. And it's probably one of the reasons you're so compassionate and you have the most amazing heart. But from a business perspective, it gives people uncertainty because you're up and down in your behavior. You're up and down with how people feel you're feeling. So they're trying to judge when to come to you. Am I coming to her on a happy day? Am I coming to her on a sad day? Am I coming to her on an angry day? When do I come to her? And so now there's no certainty in your behavior. And because there's a lack of certainty in your emotions, they have to pick and choose when to bring things to you rather than having the confidence that they can bring things to you at any point in time, because you will always respond, always react, and always perform the exact same way, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the situation. So I want you to grade yourself, scale of 1 to 10, based off your emotional intelligence and based off your emotional control. How certain are you? How certain are you? Or does it vary every day? Does it vary in every situation? Right? We got to work on this. We got to work on this. So that was number 2, certainty in your emotions and in the way you operate. The third thing that people need to have certainty in is the product and the service that you are offering. And not just the product and service, but the integrity in which it's being offered in. Because I can have the best product and service in the world, but if I'm not structuring things right for a client, or if I'm not doing things the best way for a client, then people are going to doubt me as a leader. They're going to doubt the organization, and they're going to doubt whether or not they should offer it because they don't know whether or not something's being done properly for the client. So there's 2 parts to it. The first part of it is we need to make sure that they know all the bells and whistles of the product and how and why it truly is the best thing for the client. And if people feel that in their heart, that what they're offering, the solution that they're providing, that there is nothing better in the marketplace, there's going to be a high level of conviction behind it. But if they also know that what they're offering is being offered with the highest level of integrity, meaning it's truly in the best interest of the client and their family, and not just in your best interest and your compensation, then all of a sudden there's a higher level of conviction. And so why is this so important? Because if you want to build an army of people that are just diehard crusaders, the product and service they got to believe in, and they got to believe that it's being offered the right way. Because those who believe will be believed, and those who are convinced will be convincing. So if we want our clients to believe in what we're offering, if we want them to be convinced that what they're getting is the best, then our agents need to operate with that same level of certainty. So we need to drive certainty in our products and services that it is the best. And by the way, make sure that it is. Don't just say that it's the best, make sure that it's the best. And then also the integrity in which it's being offered in, because people don't buy the product. They buy your belief in it. They buy your belief in it. So we got to drive that certainty. So I want you to ask yourself, scale of 1 to 10. Once again, how certain are my agents when it comes to the product and service that they're offering? I mentioned this in a call the other day, and it's the difference between renting something and owning something. Well, Matt, what do you mean? Well, if I rent what I'm saying because someone else told me to say it, then there's a low level of conviction and there's a low level of belief. But if I truly understand it and I have competency around it, then there's a different level of conviction and a different level of belief. So most people are renting the words of your business. They're not owning the words of your business, right? You gave them a script to follow in order to sell a product, and they are renting those words. But because they don't fully understand the product and or fully understand why they're saying those words, now there's a level of doubt, and that level of doubt gets picked up on. But if they truly understand it and they have competence behind it, and they know not just what to say, but why it's being said and how it actually works if a question pops up, then they own what they're saying. There's a higher level of conviction with it. And it once again makes all the difference in the world when it comes to offering and selling the products that you're trying to sell. The fourth thing that we need to create certainty in is our own ability to get a result, and not just our ability to get a result, but our ability to help other people get a result. Because if people don't believe that you can help them go from where they are to where they want to be, then why would they be in business with you? If people don't believe that you can get them to the promised land, why would they go in business with you? Why did the Israelites follow Moses out of Egypt, out of the Pharaoh's hands with the goal to get to the promised land? Why would they do that? Why would they leave everything and follow him on this journey? Because they were certain in his ability to deliver them from where they're at and deliver on the goal and the dream and deliver on the promised land. They were certain of that. And so they followed him to the point that even when situations popped up where there was doubt, there were worry, there was fear, they still followed him because there was a high level of certainty behind every last thing that he was doing. And so do people have certainty in your ability? You know, if I was a pilot and you hopped on the plane and I said, hey, listen, guys, I don't know if I can get us from where we are to where we want to be. I don't know. Right? This is my first time flying a plane, or this is my fifth time flying a plane, or I don't know if I even know how to work this plane. Do you think everyone's going to stay on that plane? Or do you think people are going to get off that plane as fast as they possibly can? They're going to get off because there's no certainty in your ability to fly that plane. Well, it's the same thing in business. If you want people to have certainty in you, then you got to show them that. You got to show them that you are effective. You got to show them that you know what you're doing. You have to show them that you know how to get results, or they are not going to stay on the plane with you on the journey to where they want to be and on the journey to where you want to be. And you're going to have a lot of fall off and a lot of people that come into business with you and leave. What if the reason people were leaving your business wasn't because you're a bad person? And what if it wasn't because the opportunity was bad? What if they were leaving the business because they were unsure on whether or not you can get them to the promised land? You probably have a lot of that. And so we need to have a lot more certainty in our ability. Do people know you're effective? Do people know you're skilled? And do people know you know how to get a result and that you can help them do the exact same thing? If not, it's affecting your business. And last but not least, number 5, people need to have certainty in the vision. They need to have certainty in where you're going, and they need to have certainty that no matter what, no matter the challenge, no matter the adversity, you will get to where you say you are going to get. That is so important. So let me ask you a question. Do people have certainty in your vision? Do they have certainty in the vision of the company? Do they have certainty in the things that you're saying? And all of the things that I just mentioned add into this, because if people have doubt in the other 4 areas, then they're going to have doubt in the vision. So do you give them that clarity? You know, think about it like this. If you were driving home and you're driving home and all of a sudden it starts pouring rain and gets super foggy, are you going to speed up or are you going to slow down? You're going to slow down. Why? Because there's a lack of clarity. There's a lack of clarity. And so if there's a lack of clarity in the vision of where your business is going and where your company is going, if there's a lack of clarity there and there's a lack of certainty on whether or not you're going to get there, then people once again are going to fall off and they're not going to stay in business with you, and or they're not going to do business with you. So we need to create certainty, and the first 4 kind of participate in this last one, which is the vision, but people need to have certainty in the vision. Do they truly believe that you're going to accomplish what you say you are going to accomplish? Do they truly believe that based off the resources they have, based off the tools they have, based off the opportunity itself, they can accomplish the vision? And if the answer to that question is yes, you're going to do great. If the answer to that question is no, it's affecting your business. So hopefully this helped. Hopefully I was able to bring some value today. Those are the 5 areas that you have to drive certainty in. And if you're not, let's step it up. But we all can get better in them, including myself. Today's message was even more for me than you. And so with that being said, if you guys got something out of today's content and or message, if you can like, share, subscribe, that would mean the world to us. Obviously, we put out all this information for free. All we ask is that you get something out of it. You tell a friend. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week on the Leaders Only podcast.
Let's get it.